Double Sports Talk Worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now we got a whole lot of middleweight news and right around middleweight news. You know what I mean? Because it's like, we got junior middleweight, you got middleweight, the main one, then you got super middleweight. And everybody that we're going to be talking about touched these three weight divisions, or, at least one of these three weight divisions. First of all, we got good news yesterday because the fight between WBC champ Jamal Charlo and perennial contender, right, Sergey Derevyanchenko. Now, Sergey Derevyanchenko was stopped there. Ukraine brings the pain. It's plain. He's one of them. Sergey Derevyanchenko is the guy who a lot of people, I'm just going to go 50-50. It's probably even a little bit more, but he had a great fight against Gennady Golovkin. Now, he was knocked down early, but he had a great fight against Golovkin, came back, and people thought he won that fight. A lot of people. So he's in that fight against Golovkin. He had a close fight against Daniel Jacobs, and we talked about that. Both Jacobs and Golovkin could have thought at that time they're the best middleweights. So there was no separation, not much. He lost a split decision to Jacobs, but he lost that fight. I don't see that one where it's like, oh, well, he beat Jacobs, but he was in the fight. But he could have beat Gennady Golovkin. It's a very close fight there. This is a great fight because we can't get the big guys, the ones whose names are bigger than everybody. They're not fighting. So, for Jamal Charlo, it's the best fight he can get right about now. So we might as well go on and take it. And Derevyanchenko wants a title, a WBC title. He felt he had the title, was the IBF from Golovkin, didn't get it, should have, and he's going straight for the title. Now, Derevyanchenko, the only negative is he's got a lot of opportunities. We just said Jacobs, Gennady Golovkin. Now he's at Charlo. He's getting a lot of opportunities and others don't. But then again, he is a warrior, and he hasn't really, he showed that I am supposed to be fighting these championship fights. Somebody beat me up. So let's see if Charlo can do that. Now, Charlo should not be thinking, I got to go in here and do better than Jacobs, right? I got to go do better than Gennady Golovkin. No, you don't. Just beat him, because that's all they did. Make sure you remember that, right? Because that's what happened to his brother. Everybody, man, you barely beat him, but that's what everybody else did. That's what everybody else barely did. So Jamal Charlo, don't make the mistake trying to go in here and I'm gonna knock him out and blah blah. This dude is good. This is Ukraine. Okay, anybody from Ukraine, it brings the pain. Period. It is what it is. We be talking about Eastern European like it's that. No, just one country, Ukraine alone, can talk a lot of smack. Okay, and should be talking smack. So be careful about that. Right now, another thing that your boy Derevyanchenko just said yesterday. Matter of fact, I didn't report on it because I'm just putting it all in one video. Bottom line, he said Canelo Alvarez is easier than Charlo. Go check the article. That's what he thinks. Canelo's easier than Charlo. And, duh, I think so too. Even though Canelo's awesome. But if think about it. Charlo was Canelo's mandatory, and Canelo didn't want to take that. Now he's a franchise championship, and nobody knows what the hell that is. Same WBC who's doing all this stuff with Wilder and them. They remind me of the senators of the United States of America, but whatever. So that's big, major news. Charlo and Derevyanchenko coming soon. I don't know what date it is, but who cares? It's going to be the best fight that's been signed, right? But, great recently, right? So, in the same division, basically, the baddest dude in the middleweight division to me is who? Demetrius Andrade. If you've been here any time, more than 3 times, Demetrius Andrade is the only guy in boxing. And if somebody knows another one, holla at me, because I don't know. It's not like I don't know every little weight, right? But the only guy in boxing that has a title and is mandatory doesn't want to fight him. Neither do the other champions, right? The Canelos and the Gennady Golovkins have been documented to not fight this guy, the WBO champion. At 154 when he was WBO champion as well. As soon as he was stripped of the title and Liam Smith got it, Canelo fought Liam Smith. Wasn't even embarrassed about it, right? This guy here is all that. Demetrius Andrade is the man. Now, he's stated recently, oh, by the way, let's make sure we keep saying the name. His mandatory right now, the one that doesn't want to fight him, is Jaime Munguia, right? 35-0 with 28 KOs. Don't want to fight him, right? And in talks from Canelo, he'll fight GGG, he'll fight all of it, but he doesn't want to fight this guy as his mandatory. Any other mandatories in the whole world that don't want to fight the championship fight, I don't know a mandatory that's not loud and brash and won't stay their title shot. Don't know one, right? Now, all of boxing is going to ignore that Jaime Munguia doesn't want to fight him and start talking about Canelo and GGG. Watch what I tell you. It's just the way boxing rolls. Because the brother, bottom line, you got to talk about talking around it. Now, Demetrius Andrade done said, listen, I'll fight Billy Joe Sanders. I'm trying to fight Billy Joe Sanders now at 168 because I know he can't get back down to middleweight anyway, so we'll fight at super middleweight, right? He said that before. He just reiterated it, gave me an excuse to talk about him. He'll fight Demetrius Andrade anytime. He'll fight Billy Joe Sanders any day of the week at 168 pounds. First time they tried to fight, what happened, people? Right? We don't even care, do we? Billy Joe Saunders was doped. That's why the fight didn't happen the second time. Demetrius Andrade told him then, I'll fight you at 168. Didn't happen. I don't know why. Right? So this is the guy who should be getting the fights. It's just good to hear Demetrius Andrade talking about Billy Joe Saunders. If you want some, you then whatever. And it's very, very important because Billy Joe Saunders is at 168, right? We keep talking about Canelo ain't gonna fight at no more at middleweight. Canelo's never gonna fight at middleweight no more. So Jamal Charlo and Demetrius Andrade are trying to fight at 168 if they have to anyway. Demetrius Andrade trying to get Billy Joe Saunders, Jamal Charlo trying to get David Benavidez, right? So it's no, hey, Canelo, he can't go nowhere. And these guys have been in this division forever. But I talk about that probably every third video, now don't I? But it's just the way it is. That's what's happening. So let's see who Canelo gonna fight because Derevyanchenko gone, right? The names of Canelo are putting out there. Oh my goodness, man! Who the hell? Quigley? Are you serious? David Lemieux? Are you really? Tiano Johnson? Maybe, but really? Canelo Alvarez? Good luck with all of that because sooner or later, all that's not going to happen. Now, to Demetrius Andrade, before I get out of here, Demetrius Andrade, I probably put that article about Demetrius Andrade in the description box because he was just saying, hey, listen, we talking all these pay cuts and stuff. The main guys who got all that money from the zone, right? Just ridiculous money. He mentioned Anthony Joshua, Canelo Alvarez, and Gennady Golovkin. They need to take the pay cuts. The rest of them shouldn't because they're not getting that money in that stratosphere. And that sounds fair to me. And matter of fact, when it comes to Demetrius Andrade, y'all ain't better than me. Neither one of you don't want to fight me and getting all these monies, all these figures, right? Documented. DAZN got me signed. DAZN making big mistakes. Got me signed under the same hat as these dudes, and DAZN's not forcing Canelo or Gennady Golovkin to fight this guy. It's absurd, but it's boxing. Gives us something to talk about. You can talk about boxing every day with something that's extremely corrupt. But whatever. Charlo versus Derevyanchenko coming soon. Andrade wants Billy Joe Saunders at 168, so he can't run. Let's see what happens. Doma Sports Talk Worldwide. And I'm up out of here, y'all.